My name is Claire, I'm 45, and until today I believed I understood my marriage. I thought we had built a life together, a life based on love, shared laughter, and sacrifices that I had always considered noble choices. As the sun streamed into the kitchen, casting a warm glow over the familiar countertops, I busied myself with the morning routine. The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mingling with the faint scent of cinnamon from yesterday's leftovers. It was a comforting scene, one I had cherished for years. But then, everything changed. That morning, I accidentally stumbled upon Mark's phone resting on the countertop, its screen illuminating a message notification from a hidden app. My heart raced as I picked it up, a sense of foreboding gripping my stomach. I felt wings of anxiety fluttering inside me as I hesitated, the decision to look deeper, teetering on a fragile edge. The moment I swiped the screen, I was thrown into a reality that I had buried beneath layers of denial. The messages were not innocuous. They were explicit, revealing the tangled web of infidelity spun by my husband and my sister, Lisa. As I read their exchanges, the air thickened, pressing against my chest like the weight of an anchor. How could he? I whispered to myself, my voice trembling against the thunderous pulse in my ears. There it was, flirtatious banter, encoded plans for a life without me, as if marking me for deletion. I couldn't believe the proof of their betrayal was right in front of me, screaming in stark contrast to everything I had believed about our lives. My mind raced, hurt, and disbelief swirling into a vortex of emotions. I scrolled further, heart pounding like a war drum, uncovering details of their plan, a scheme to manipulate family finances and control my access to my inheritance. Each word cut deeper than the last, thoughts racing through my mind, having conversations I never expected to have. This was not just an affair. This was treachery of the highest order, executed in the shadows of my own home. The phone slipped from my fingers, crashing onto the tiled floor, its screen now a fragmented echo of the life I had taken for granted. I felt hollowed out, an empty shell where warmth and vibrancy used to thrive. I stood frozen, surrounded by the mundane trappings of our family life that now felt like a grotesque facade. How could Mark, after 20 years of shared dreams, betray me this way? He thought breaking me would be easy, but he forgot who I used to be, strong, intelligent, and fiercely loyal. The betrayal unfurled a blanket of cold despair that crept over me. My essence had been splintered, discarded like yesterday's news, and yet a flash of awareness began to seep in. Collecting the shattered pieces of my heart, I retreated to the guest room, the very room that now functioned as my prison. It stood cold and unwelcoming, a stark contrast to the warmth of the life I fought to preserve just moments before. As I sank onto the edge of the bed, my breath quickened, each inhale laced with disbelief and thick frustration. I glanced around. The walls adorned with photographs now felt like a gallery of lies. With every glare, I relived snapshots of stolen joy, our wedding day, the laughter of our children, our shared milestones. I had traded my ambitions for his success, submerging my dreams beneath the weight of expectations. All those years of emotional labor, sleepless nights, comforting children, and pouring my heart into our home now felt like they were only tokens in a cruel game. How had I overlooked the warning signs, the late nights, the unexplained absences, the flicker of guilt that I had convinced myself was my imagination? And yet, I had always chosen to maintain peace over confronting my feelings. In doing so, I had exiled myself emotionally, retreating into a way of being that muted my voice and stifled my truth. Tears brimmed at the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them back defiantly. The shift from wife to exile sparked a fire deep within, a quiet resolve, whispering for me to rise from this emotional rubble. I could not, would not remain the woman they believed I was. The humiliation I felt would not consume me. It would become my catalyst. As waves of anger and betrayal collided, I stood resolute, reminding myself of the strength I had once wielded. I recalled moments in my life where I had chosen resilience over despair, standing tall in the face of adversity, unyielding against the currents. They thought I was weak, but I was far from it, buried beneath years of loyalty and love. He thought breaking me would be easy, but he forgot who I used to be. This revelation surged through me like a lifeline, igniting a determination rooted in survival. They had underestimated my strength and resolve. I would unravel their sinister plot, reclaim my dignity, and carve a path toward freedom. I would not go quietly. I would shine light on the darkness they conspired against me. With that promise echoing in my heart, I took a deep breath, my mind swirling with the possibilities of what lay ahead. I would become the woman who would fight, not just for justice, but for my own soul. The days that followed that fateful morning felt like a murky fog settled over my life, heavy and suffocating. I moved through the motions, brewing coffee, preparing meals, and attending to the children's needs, all while my heart thudded in a dissonant rhythm. I felt like a ghost haunting the very spaces designed for love and laughter. But those echoes had turned into a haunting refrain of betrayal. In the evenings, after the kids had gone to bed, I found myself retreating to the guest room with a stark chill. It was a far cry from the warmth of the master bedroom, where I once found solace beside my husband. The walls around me held silent witness to my exile. Each corner was draped in memories that felt like barbed reminders of the life I had built. I pulled out my journal, the pages lined with dreams I had quietly penned over the years, dreams sacrificed for the ambitions of a man whose betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. I read the childhood ambitions and future aspirations that had faded into dust. There was a time when I envisioned a career in architecture, laying plans for structures that would inspire others. I remembered standing in my school laboratory, sketching blueprints and feeling the heat of passion for my future. Yet, somewhere along the path, I had altered my course. I set aside my desires, encouraged by Mark's budding career and the pressing duties of motherhood. It felt noble back then, the way I poured my heart into our home, watching him thrive while I stood quietly in the background. But I couldn't ignore the red flags any longer. I flashed back to simpler moments when our marriage began to fray beneath the surface. The late nights at work were now framed in a new light, meetings that bled into unaccounted hours marked by silence. There were trivial excuses woven together like threads in a tapestry, each one disguising the truth nested in betrayal. What hurt even more was the way I, time and again, chose to ignore the synthetic warmth of rehashed affection. I recalled the times he would dismiss my concerns with a wave of his hand, asserting that I was overreacting, that I should be grateful he kept a roof over our heads. I had listened, nodding obediently, yet the flicker of unease never quite extinguished. Keep the peace, stay supportive, I told myself. It was a mantra I had repeated, one that molded my character and sacrificed my voice. That soft-spoken resolve had become my prison. Sometimes when I looked in the mirror, I saw a stranger staring back, an apparition clothed in the remnants of someone I used to be, a woman sidelined, underestimated. I stepped out of the shadows of reflection that evening in the guest room as I continued to wrestle with the gravity of betrayal. The silence of the house wrapped around me like a shroud, muffling the clocks ticking like a funeral dirge, marking my own demise. I wrapped my arms around myself, the cold, unexpected touch unearthing a familiar agony. As I recalled moments filled with laughter, I found myself grappling with a profound sense of loss. I remembered the night of our wedding, dancing beneath the stars, lovers destined for forever. Mark had looked at me with such admiration in his eyes. The warmth had radiated from his laughter, intertwining with my heartstrings. There were picnic afternoons spent in the park, the joy reflected in our children's faces as they played in the grass, blissfully unaware of the cracks forming beneath their parents' smiles. We were a family, a unit, until the fractures revealed themselves as irreparable. I ached for those carefree days, swallowed the memories like bitter pills, realizing that my existence had shifted from being a partner to being an onlooker in a love that had turned stale and disingenuous. Each fragment of remembrance buzzed with a haunting dread, steeped in the revelation that what was once a vibrant tapestry was now threadbare, riddled with deception. "I can't remain a victim," I whispered to the dim room, feeling the weight of my voice settle upon my shoulders. Suddenly, it struck me. This was not the end. This humiliation, this exile, could be my rebirth. I closed my journal, clenching it tightly, feeling its edges press into my palms as I realized I possessed the power to rewrite my story. The notion ignited a spark deep within me, blossoming into flower petals of resilience. I could no longer be the woman who crumbled under pressure. I would reclaim my narrative, piece by damning piece. I began to envision a strategic path forward, a mosaic built from shattered bits of trust and pride. Among the emotional wreckage lay clarity, an unmistakable sense of purpose. I was smart, I had cultivated relationships over the years, nurtured friendships that produced roots deep enough to sustain me, and I would need to reach out. All while playing the part of the dutiful wife, unaware and compliant. I began plotting a way to gather information, carefully documenting Mark's habits, Lisa's interactions, and their connections. Weaving a web of evidence, I murmured softly, the words tinged with chocolate-rich determination. It would require patience and cunning. The elements that once rendered me paralyzed could no longer hold me hostage. I would take my time, watch them both carefully, and uncover the intricate threads they believed were hidden from me. As I settled into an awareness of resolve, I understood that this moment was just the beginning. I could no longer hold on to echoes of what was lost. I had to grasp onto the promise of what could be. The darkness they conspired against me would become my light, illuminating the path to justice I was determined to carve for myself. With renewed courage coursing through my veins, I felt prepared to dismantle the foundations of their betrayal. This time I would not allow my voice to be silenced. I would roar. As the weeks passed, I slipped into my role as the dutiful wife with practiced ease. My days were a theatrical performance, each smile masking the storm brewing beneath my calm facade. I watched Mark closely, documenting his every move, studying the patterns of his routine, late nights filled with unspoken excuses, his casual indifference toward my questions. I felt like a detective in my own life, piecing together the puzzle of his treachery. Then one afternoon, While Mark prepared for a client meeting, I seized an opportunity. A notification pinged on his phone, an alert from an app I had learned not to trust. My heart raced as I moved closer, my hands trembling slightly. He had left the screen unlocked, offering a window into a world I had feared for too long. I swiped the screen, inhaling sharply at the flood of messages. The exchanges were explicit, detailing not just an affair with Lisa, but an alarming financial scheme. They had been conspiring, discussing finances like it was a game, plotting a way to siphon off money from our family inheritance. My stomach churned as the full impact of their betrayal settled over me like a thrumming dark cloud. Holding Mark's phone like it was a ticking bomb, I felt my resolve grow stronger. This was the ammunition I needed. The fear that had once paralyzed me began to morph into determination, spurring me on. I couldn't waste this chance. I needed expert guidance. Later that week, I reached out to Jason, the lawyer who had advised me during my real estate days. The selected words of my message felt like the first tentative steps toward liberation. "Hi, Jason, it's Claire. I'd like to discuss something important. Can we meet soon?" The anticipated meeting buzzed in my mind, lighting a path forward. When we finally sat across from each other, I felt grounded. I laid out my discoveries, carefully chosen words spilling forth like a well-practiced monologue. Jason's demeanor morphed from cordial to grave, the weight of my situation sinking in. "Claire, what you've uncovered is serious," he stated, his voice threading urgency into the air. "They've orchestrated a plan to undermine your position in this marriage. We need to respond swiftly and wisely, gather more evidence where you can, and then we can move to address it legally." With Jason's words echoing in my mind, I felt a swelling of empowerment. My previous fears fell away, replaced with a formidable focus. The inquiry would become my shield as I readied myself for the battle I had long evaded. I needed to stay vigilant, to entwine myself deeper into their world to draw out more pieces of their deception. As part of my act, Lisa continued dropping by under the guise of sisterly concern, slinging compliments like confetti. I was acutely aware of her facade, of the double meanings hidden behind her seemingly innocent gestures. "Claire, I have no idea how you do it all. You need to take a break," she chirped one afternoon. I could hardly fight the urge to roll my eyes. Her sugary voice became the backbone of my anger. Mark's sister, unknowing, had just given me more fuel. In those moments of seemingly casual exchange, I resolved to endure, to survive under layers of cordiality. I created mental notes of our interactions, the subtle cues, the sly glances. Each encounter built upon the last, tying together their treachery in a tapestry that would ultimately connect the dots for my case. With a fire ignited beneath my skin, I recalled the maxim I had written down weeks ago, weaving a web of evidence. I trusted Jason, and I knew that by operating in silence, armed with my notebook and flourishing instincts, I could craft a compelling narrative of their betrayal. No longer confined to the shadows, I stepped into a new reality where their deceit would no longer hold dominion over my life. I had grown from the woman they'd manipulated into someone blazing with purpose. I was no longer on the defense. I had become a tactician in a game long tilted against me. As the sun dipped below the horizon each night, I poured my heart into my planning. My resolve solidified into a mission fueled by righteousness and quiet strength. The whispers of my former self stirred within, encouraging me to persist and to rise. I would not just survive this betrayal, I would transform it into a pivotal moment of triumph. I built a mental fortress, gathering strength from my discoveries. Each piece of evidence was another brick, fortifying the boundary around my newfound resolve. When the time was right, I would unveil their misdeeds, twofold betrayal wrapped in a nefarious bond. Plans of justice were taking root. They had underestimated me, thinking they could shatter my world. But soon enough, they would learn the truth. I finally grasped the reins of my fate with steady hands. I would not be a victim. Instead, I would emerge as a warrior, ready to reclaim what was mine. The days turned to weeks, and my world became a carefully crafted stage of performative normalcy. Each morning, I prepared breakfast with a calm demeanor, my family orbiting in the soft rhythm of routine. Mark would kiss me on the cheek, a gesture I had once cherished, now merely felt pedestrian, a shallow reminder of what we had lost. No longer was he the partner I celebrated. He had transformed into a meticulous puzzle I was determined to solve. As the mornings slipped into evenings, I found quiet moments to myself, where the war of my thoughts could explode internally. I am not weak, I reminded myself as I gazed into the mirror. I will thrive beyond this betrayal. It became my mantra, pushing me to delve deeper into the web of deception that enveloped my life. With Jason's encouragement in mind, I continued taking notes, marking the subtle shifts of my captors, Mark and Lisa. I began utilizing the seemingly inconsequential details of their lives to build a narrative of betrayal. I paid attention to their communication habits, those furtive glances and hushed whispers that revealed more than they intended. It was during a particularly quiet dinner that I noticed something peculiar. Mark received a call he glanced at but avoided answering. My instincts flared. He was protecting something or someone. My heart raced at the thought of what had become ordinary in our lives. The tension buzzed in the air, enshrined in unspoken words. "Everything okay?" I asked, feigning a casual interest. He looked at me, a flicker of surprise momentarily crossing his features. "Just work stuff." His tone was flat, dismissive. That night, I plastered a smile on my face as Mark retreated to the office. I seized the opportunity to gather more intelligence. My heart quickened, and my fingers trembled as I rifled through the papers strewn across our shared desk. The thin layer of dust a reminder of abandoned responsibilities. In the corner of an unchecked drawer, I discovered a series of receipts, clustered like secrets begging to be unveiled. In one swift movement, I removed them, examining the lines detailing transactions that didn't belong in our family's financial history. Expensive dinners at restaurants I had never heard of, hotel stays during what he had framed as business trips, and more alarmingly, the purchase of an ornate piece of jewelry that could easily be marked as a guilty splurge for someone other than me. As each new piece unfolded, grief twisted into wrath, creating a cocktail of emotions I hadn't anticipated. I could feel my confidence building. Each breadcrumb I discovered fortified my resolve for justice. I began documenting everything meticulously in a private file on my laptop, crafting a record of the unraveling tapestry of our lives together. The afternoon following my discovery, as Mark prepared to leave for work, I adopted a nonchalant air, casually inquiring about his plans. I disguised my curiosity with feigned sweetness, allowing him to simply nod as if my questions were background noise. He shared no details, which only cemented my determination to uncover more. I also began to devise ways to observe Lisa without drawing attention. I embraced the role of the perfunctory sister-in-law, willing to lend a hand, positioning myself frequently at family gatherings. Under the guise of helpfulness, I spent time with her one-on-one, watching how she interacted with Mark while carefully eavesdropping on conversations implying a deeper connection than sisterly affection. One afternoon, while volunteering to help Lisa reorganize her home office, I examined her workspace with growing intensity. Beneath a stack of magazines lay a small envelope, subtle enough to go unnoticed, yet rife with implications. I held my breath as I carefully lifted it. Inside was a series of handwritten notes, penned in the familiar cursive I had come to despise. They were love letters, affirmations of affection, and invitations that sealed their coalition in betrayal. The moment served as fuel, the fire igniting a fresh surge of purpose in my veins. I stored the notes in my purse, feeling the weight of them, a tangible representation of their deceit that would serve as leverage when the moment arrived. The more I uncovered, the more layers I revealed. I also started connecting with friends who had slipped away due to my familial obligations, including those who had a vested interest in my life. As I navigated the social maze between loyalty and betrayal, I reached out to old friends who had expressed concern when they sensed an emotional disconnect in my marriage. Their supportive voices echoed in my mind, wrapping me in an embrace of camaraderie and resilience. With each meeting, I gathered snippets of information and reassurance. The retelling of my struggle against Mark's growing abandon resonated with the network of allies I had long left dormant. They provided strength that propelled me forward. At night, I meticulously organized every piece of evidence, stringing whispers into a coherent story of betrayal. I took pride in my newfound strategy, a plan to emerge not as a victim, but a phoenix ready to rise from the ashes of their deceit. In the solitude of my newly acquired fortress of knowledge, I reveled in the tension heightening around me. Every pang of betrayal served merely as a stepping stone, magnifying my own blossoming strength. I could see it vividly the moment my life pivoted. In a clash of justice that would shatter the illusion Mark and Lisa believed they had so deftly crafted. Soon enough, my patience and preparation would pay off. I knew it was only a matter of time. The very foundations of their conspiracy were poised to unravel, and I would stand ready, armed with the truth, prepared to reclaim my narrative once more. With every piece of betrayal I unearthed, my plan for justice took shape, solidifying like ice in the midst of a thaw. I approached this task with a laser focus, knowing that each calculated move would resonate through the lives of those who had underestimated me. Each night, I meticulously organized the evidence into a coherent timeline, every note and document a stepping stone toward reclaiming my life. This plan required precision. I needed to ensure both Mark and Lisa would be caught off guard at the same time. As I envisioned the moment of revelation, I could feel the thrill of empowerment surging within me. They thought they held the cards. They did not realize I was already holding a winning hand. After a night of restless contemplation, I picked up my phone and called Jason. "I want to ensure they have nowhere to hide," I declared, my voice steady with purpose. "Help me formulate a strong approach for when I finally confront them." "Absolutely, Claire," Jason replied, his support unwavering. "Gather all the evidence clearly and succinctly, and we'll refine your strategy together." That evening, I laid out the materials I had amassed, a collection of love letters, financial transactions, receipts, and diary entries that chronicled their deception. My heart raced with a mix of anger and exhilaration. I was no longer hiding in the shadows. I was ready to burst forth. To facilitate my confrontation, I arranged a family dinner that would draw both Mark and Lisa into my carefully laid trap. I wanted everything to feel ordinary, to lull them into complacency. As I prepared the meal, an array of delicious scents wrapped around me, mixing with the tension building in my gut. Just a little longer, I whispered to myself, embracing the thrill of knowing that the moment would soon arrive. With the table set, candles flickering softly, I could envision how this would play out. Mark would relax, and Lisa would be her flippant self, unaware of what was lurking right beneath the surface, the perfect cocktail of normalcy. Dinner commenced, laughter ringing hollowly in my ears. They shared jokes and stories, oblivious to the storm I had brewed beneath my delicate smile. I played my part thoroughly, maintaining the guise of a dutiful wife and sister-in-law while mentally preparing for the confrontation that loomed. As the meal came to a close, an electric tension suffused the air. I cleared the plates with purpose, calling for the coffee and dessert, tense waves crashing in my chest. This was it. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Before we dive into dessert, there's something I need to discuss, I began, my voice steady and calm, my heart racing with the thrill of what lay ahead. Mark raised an eyebrow, caught off guard by the shift in my tone. Lisa's eyes darted between us, her sisterly mask slipping just for an instant. I had their attention. I've been doing some research, I continued, letting my words flow like poison, each one imbued with quiet strength. And I've gathered evidence regarding your affair. With that declaration, I produced the love letters and laid them on the table, each page a testament to their conspiracy. As the paper slid into view, Mark's relaxed demeanor crumbled. Panic washed over his face as reality sunk in. "Claire, those aren't what you think," he spluttered, reaching for the letters, but I pulled back, unmarred by the chaos he tried to sow. "Oh, but they are," I countered coolly. "Each word is a testament to your betrayal, to your deception. I've uncovered details of your plans and the money you've moved around as you schemed behind my back. You and Lisa thought you could keep this hidden, but you were mistaken." Lisa's cheeks drained of color, her flippant facade shattering as the truth sank in. "You're being dramatic," she tried to retort, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her uncertainty. "No, I'm being pragmatic," I shot back, my resolve unwavering. "You both made choices that affect not only me, but our entire family. You have two options. We can confront this head-on, or I will bring this to light for everyone to see." The tension escalated in the room, each word hanging heavy in the air. Mark glanced at Lisa. A flicker of panic framed his expression. I could see the fight leaving him. "Let's not make this a scene, Claire," he pleaded, the arrogance peeling away to reveal desperation. "We can talk about this. Just let me explain." I maintained my composure, knowing that I had seized the wheel of power. "Explain what? That you cared more for her than you ever did for me? That you thought I would roll over and take this?" The truth of my words resonated against the walls that seemed to close in around us. I had prepared for this moment, ready to confront their lies, and now it was time to enforce my terms. Your deceit is not going unnoticed, and I will not be a passive victim, I affirmed, each word charged with purpose. This isn't just about you two. This is about my future. I will seek justice and clarity. I will not be silenced. As the weight of my declarations settled in, I saw the realization dawn on them. They had underestimated both my strength and determination. The foundation of their betrayal was cracking before my eyes, and now it was time to pursue justice, my justice. A surge of triumph washed over me as I solidified my stance. They had thought they could keep me in the shadows, but now the light was shining brightly on the path ahead. I had transformed, armed with the truth and bolstered by the bonds I had rekindled. I was not simply reclaiming my narrative, I was redefining it, and I would not stop until I reclaimed all that was rightfully mine. The air between us was thick with disbelief, each heartbeat pulsing louder than the last. Mark's once confident facade had crumbled like a house of cards, leaving him exposed. Lisa's eyes darted nervously. She was a cornered animal, desperately searching for an escape. In that moment, I breathed deeply, relishing the power and control that surged through me. I won't be a victim in this twisted story any longer, I stated, my voice steady. My words were more than mere declarations. They were promises, each one solidifying my resolve. You both thought your affair could remain a secret, hidden beneath layers of deceit, but I'm here to expose every last fragment. Mark moved to open his mouth, but I raised my hand, stopping him cold. You don't get to speak yet. Your betrayal has severed our bond, and I refuse to give you a platform now, not before the world knows your truth. The truth hung heavy in the room, begging to be validated, and I felt a surge of adrenaline as I continued. I've gathered evidence, proof of your affair, the financial lies, the hidden communications. I've taken every step to ensure that your betrayals will not go unnoticed. The flicker of realization passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of the severity of their situation. Mark's bravado faded, and I could finally see the man beneath the arrogance. It felt intoxicating to watch him teeter on the brink of despair. Claire, he said finally, desperation creeping into his voice. This isn't what you think. It was a mistake, a temporary lapse in judgment. Don't insult my intelligence, I shot back, feeling the surge of power coursing through my veins. This was a calculated effort. You planned this and you executed it without regard for the vows we made. No, I won't let you gloss over that with empty words. Lisa, now devoid of her earlier bravado, attempted to rally. You don't understand what we're going through, she stammered, her posture tense. We were just trying to find happiness. You were so distant. Distant? I echoed incredulously. I distanced myself because I felt your betrayal creeping in. I was trying to hold together a marriage that you both shattered. In that moment, I could feel the grip of righteous fury clutching my heart. I was no longer the woman who had accepted betrayal and ridicule. I was a woman on the brink of reclaiming everything that had been stolen from me. I reached for my laptop, opened the folder containing my meticulously organized evidence, and began scrolling through the documents. I had prepared for this moment, and now it was time to lay out the details. The receipts, the love letters, the timestamps, and the text exchanges that would ensnare them in their own web of deceit. Here, I said, thrusting the screen towards them, each transaction meticulously documented, each letter filled with lies that you exchanged while I made excuses for your absence. You turned our life into a performance, a farce that I unwittingly supported. I observed their combined expressions, a mixture of fear and panic, as they faced the undeniable evidence of their treachery. The security they had once shared now seemed like fleeting sand slipping through their fingers. And guess what? I leaned in, lowering my voice to a whisper, my words laced with quiet conviction. I have no intention of staying silent. I will not just confront you both here and now. My next step will be to reveal everything. Family gatherings, court documents, social media, whatever it takes to ensure that everyone knows the truth. Mark's face paled. The shock of realizing that there was no escape was clear. You wouldn't, he began, but I cut him off. Oh, but I would. You see, you've underestimated me for too long. The woman you thought you could toy with is gone. As I saw their fear seep into desperation, I pressed on. I'm reclaiming my power. If exposing the truth is the only way to do that, then so be it. I'll take my narrative back, even if it means destroying yours in the process. Lisa trembled, her confidence evaporating. But what about family? What about the fallout? She implored, a hint of fear threading through her voice. Is that really your concern now? I shot back, feeling the adrenaline spike. You shared my bed as you plotted behind my back. You have no standing to lecture me on family. Mark's composure shattered. You're being spiteful. This will ruin us. His frail mask of control finally crumbled. Ruin? You already buried the foundations of this family with your betrayals. It's too late for that kind of talk. I stepped closer, my conviction pulling me forward. I have no intention of being a casualty in this war you waged. You'll face the consequences of your actions. Their panic tightened the air, my words cutting through their defenses like a sharpened blade. I saw the trepidation written across their features, the dawning realization that they had lost control over their lives, their choices, and their once tight partnership. You thought that with your manipulations I would wither. Instead, you've ignited a fire in me that will not be snuffed out, I asserted. Mark, you will face the repercussions of this betrayal, and Lisa, you will no longer escape the shadows you've created. I took a step back, feeling the weight of my actions settle around me like armor. They were exposed, and I was no longer bound by their chains. With clarity and strength coursing through me, I turned to leave the room, knowing that my path ahead was uncharted, yet promising. As I walked away from their stunned faces, filled with fear and regret, I embraced the thrill of liberation. My narrative was mine once again, a story of courage forged in the flames of betrayal. I was ready for whatever came next, confidently stepping into the new life I had resolutely conquered. As I stepped away from the wreckage of my past, I felt unshackled, the weight of betrayal lifting to reveal a horizon filled with possibility. Outside, the evening air was crisp, the glow of street lamps illuminating a world that felt newly vibrant. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of freedom mingling with the remnants of the storm I had just weathered. In the days following our confrontation, I navigated the ruins of what had once been my life. I had made phone calls, sent emails, and had those difficult conversations with friends and family who had stood in my corner. Each voice of support bolstered my resilience, each interaction further instilling a sense of autonomy within me. I was not alone in this. I had allies, and their strength fortified my resolve. The process of dissolving our shared life began with practical steps, a meeting with my attorney to ensure my rights would be protected. It felt surreal to meticulously unpack my life, item by item, emotion by emotion. This is just business, I told myself as I sat across from my lawyer, looking over joint accounts and assets. But beneath that business-like exterior, I felt as if I were taking control of a narrative that had long been defined by deceit. We discussed alimony and the division of assets, each detail marked with the reality of my new life. I was reclaiming my financial independence, a crucial step toward rebuilding my identity. The thought of closing that chapter powered me forward. There's no turning back, I reminded myself. Determination igniting a sense of purpose I had thought lost. Yet, the emotional tapestry of my journey had also intertwined with the support of my friends. With each gathering, I felt the warmth swell within me, a comforting reminder that community thrives even in the midst of chaos. It was here, surrounded by people who loved and supported me, that I began to see glimmers of hope. One warm Saturday afternoon, I organized a small get-together at my home. The room filled with laughter, the air rich with the aroma of homemade pasta. As I watched my friends share stories and reminisce, I sensed a new kind of tranquility creeping in, a feeling of safety and acceptance. My home, once a place of stale neglect, was transforming into a sanctuary of renewal. Amidst the clinking of glasses and the joyful chatter, an old friend, Sarah, sought me out. "You've really emerged from this stronger," she remarked, her eyes glassy with emotion. "It's like seeing you for the first time." Her words struck me like lightning, and I realized she was right. I no longer felt like a ghost haunting my own life, but someone who had stepped into the light, determined to forge a future. I smiled at her reflection in the edge of my vision, a mix of gratitude and pride swelling in my chest. "I needed to reclaim my story," I replied softly. With my newfound independence, I began to explore passions long buried beneath years of complacency. I enrolled in a photography class, a whimsical decision that delighted my heart. Capturing life through my lens became a therapy of sorts, allowing me to express emotions I had kept bottled up for too long. Each click of the camera shutter was a silent scream and a step forward, crafting my narrative anew. I found myself exploring the world around me with fresh eyes. Every photograph was an exploration of beauty, stark differences from the monotony of my past. I traveled to places I had dreamed of visiting, the coastlines of California, the breathtaking expanse of national parks, the bustling streets of art districts in cities where I could lose myself, yet still feel entirely alive. But the most pivotal moment came when I showcased my work in a local gallery, a place bursting with creativity that pulsed with life. The night of the exhibit was electric. Friends flooded the room, celebrating not just my art, but the woman I had become. I stood amongst my pieces, the visual representation of my journey on the walls, capturing months of healing and self-discovery. As I navigated through the crowd, catching bits of laughter and sharing hugs, a sense of pride swiftly enveloped me. I had poured my heart into this collection, representing each pixel as a fragment of my rebirth. The admiration and warmth radiating from my community felt like a cocoon, insulated from the past that had once suffocated me. Yet, in a quiet corner, I found myself reflecting on what I had learned. Betrayal had been cruel, but my adaptive nature had proven stronger. I looked around, noticing the thin threads of love connecting me to others, a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. What was meant to break me has instead forged me, I whispered, sealing that sentiment into my heart as the final clicks of my camera captured the joy unfurling around me. In the days and weeks that followed, I embraced this new life, the kaleidoscope of experiences layering vibrancy into every moment. I had chosen joy over bitterness, courage over fear, and, most importantly, I had reclaimed my narrative. The journey would continue, one of exploration, healing, and joyful acceptance, and I was wholeheartedly ready for wherever that road might lead. As I looked up at the moonlit sky, I felt anchored in my truth. This is my story, and I will write it beautifully, I vowed softly, welcoming the adventures that awaited me in this uncharted territory of a new life. As the seasons shifted from the vibrant greens of spring to the fiery hues of fall, my sense of self-empowerment evolved. What had once felt like a fractured story, riddled with betrayal and loss, was now coalescing into a rich tapestry of resilience and rebirth. I had transformed my pain into artistry, using each brushstroke and shutter click as a means to reclaim my narrative. With newfound purpose, I began teaching photography workshops at the local community center. Initially, I didn't grasp how fulfilling this would be. Sharing my passion with others rekindled a spark within me that I feared had long extinguished. Each class brought new faces eager to learn, and their excitement breathed life back into my spirit. Emma, a shy woman in her 40s, quickly stood out. She entered the workshop like she was entering enemy territory, timid yet hopeful. Watching her capture her first sunrise photo was a revelation. Her face lit up as if the sun itself had ignited a flame within her. As I guided my students through the intricacies of photography, something magical unfolded. It became more than just teaching technique. It was about encouraging each individual to express their story through art. Our laughter filled the studio as we experimented with light and color, each captured moment a celebration of resilience. The shared journey forged connections that transcended the classroom, intertwining our lives in meaningful ways. The inspiration didn't end there. I began working on my own series aimed at showcasing not just my artistry, but the journeys of these individuals who had entrusted me with their narratives. It felt vital to give back, to amplify the voices that had so often remained silent. This idea blossomed into a gallery exhibit, a collective showcase celebrating our struggles and triumphs. The night of the exhibition was electric. As friends filtered through the gallery entrance, I felt a rush of joy and pride at what we had collectively created. Each photograph hanging on the walls told a story, some heartbreaking, others triumphant. My heart swelled with gratitude, surrounded by the vibrant energy of my community cheering for one another, supporting shared journeys. Emma's stunning capture of her first sunrise greeted everyone, her nervousness transforming into a sense of accomplishment. Floating through the crowd, I interacted with familiar faces, savoring the warmth and affection surrounding me. I felt unfettered by my past, liberated from the weight of old wounds. And then, amidst this joyful chaos, I spotted a familiar figure. Mark stood at the edge of the gallery, uncertainty etched across his face. My stomach tightened, but deep within, I felt a strange calm. This moment was mine, and I had the power to dictate how it unfolded. I took a breath before approaching him, a steadying wave of resolve washing over me. "Thank you for coming," I said, my tone calm and clear. He looked genuinely surprised. "I wanted to see how you were. I've heard good things." His words faltered, and I saw a flicker of regret in his eyes. "Yes, things are different now. I've learned a lot about myself," I replied, allowing a small smile to grace my lips. "It wasn't easy, but I've embraced my own path. We exchanged a few more polite words, but I felt no bitterness, just a profound understanding. I had moved forward, carving my own place in the world. As I walked away, I felt a sense of weight lift from my shoulders, a confirmation that my past no longer defined me. The remainder of the evening was a vibrant blur. I reveled in the joy of my students, watching as they received praise for their hard work, witnessing their pride swell. I felt a kinship with each photograph and every person who stepped through the doors. Together, we had crafted a space of encouragement and shared healing. When the night began to wind down, I took a moment to stand amongst my works, breathing in the moment of accomplishment. Time seemed to slow as I focused on a piece capturing the delicate hues of a sunset. One, I believed, mirrored my own transformation. It felt emblematic of my journey, the colors bleeding into one another, much like my dreams merging with lived realities. "What was meant to break me has instead forged me," I murmured, acknowledging the strength that hardship had unearthed. This revelation filled me with gratitude, not just for the beauty of art, but for the community that had become my family. With everything I had endured and every triumph celebrated, I stood resolute, knowing that my journey was ongoing. I was uncovering endless possibilities that lay ahead, fueled by newfound confidence. The shadows of my past no longer loomed large. Rather, they had transformed into stepping stones leading me toward the light. As I stepped outside into the cool evening air beneath a twinkling sky, I felt a surge of hope and excitement for the adventures yet to come. My narrative, forged from scars and triumphs alike, was being written anew with every passing day. This is my story, and I will continue to write it beautifully, I declared into the night, taking a deep breath filled with anticipation and freedom. The journey ahead was mine to explore, a life imbued with purpose, connection, and the vibrant possibilities of tomorrow. The weeks following the exhibition were a whirlwind of activity and inspiration. My life felt like a fresh canvas, awaiting strokes of creativity and opportunity. Each sunrise brought with it a world of possibilities. I dove headfirst into new projects, writing articles on photography techniques and sharing my journey through blog posts. With every word I penned, I felt a renewed sense of empowerment surging through me, tethering my past experiences to a brighter future. I also expanded my workshops, employing new subject matter and collaborating with local artists. This community network thrived as we exchanged ideas and pushed each other's boundaries. Creativity sparked in every corner of the studio as students found their niche, some delving into landscapes, others into portraiture, and even a few exploring abstract forms. I noted how their confidence flourished, each click of the camera representing a triumphant step towards self-discovery. One chilly December day, while sipping my coffee, a thought struck me. What if I could create a program centered on healing through art? The concept took root in my mind, and I crafted a curriculum combining therapeutic approaches with artistic expression. My idea was to hold workshops specifically aimed at individuals facing life transitions, those who had endured breakups, losses, or personal struggles. I envisioned a space where vulnerability was met with support and love. With each passing day, I poured my energy into this initiative, eagerly reaching out to local therapists for guidance. It was during these discussions that I discovered a deeper strength within myself, the capacity to listen and empathize, I relished the opportunity to provide a platform for others to articulate their emotions through art, and in return, it helped me to further articulate my own. As the program launched, our first group gathered in the warm, inviting space of the community center. An eclectic mix of participants filled the room, some slightly apprehensive, others visibly eager. I sensed their collective anxieties, which I too had felt in the past. I began the session by sharing my own narrative, letting them see my vulnerable side while intertwining it with the love I now held for creativity. Art can be a transformative journey, I told them, my voice steady, one that allows you not just to express, but to confront and heal the wounds life has inflicted. As I spoke, my heart swelled with purpose. Some participants picked up paintbrushes or cameras hesitantly, while others dove right in, their brushstrokes furious with emotion. I watched in awe as the room transformed into an oasis of sharing. Guided by the rhythm of creativity, we talked, laughed, and released our burdens together. Through these workshops, I witnessed the healing process in action. Sometimes, the simplest connection could become a pivotal turning point. One participant, Sarah, approached me after a session, her eyes glistening with tears. She expressed how expressing her grief through art had finally begun to ease her heartache. I felt a profound connection, a sense of purpose fueling my drive to foster this environment. With our program gaining traction, I decided it deserved a larger platform. I set my sights on organizing an art show, displaying the works made during the sessions. The thought ignited my creativity. It became a goal to strive towards, a heartfelt showcase of healing and transformation. As the show drew nearer, I immersed myself in the logistics, assembling a team of volunteers, arranging the details, and encouraging participants to share their journeys alongside their art. The excitement built, ebbing and flowing like a tide, creating a vibrant energy around us. Each person involved invested emotions into their display, weaving personal stories into the fabric of the event. On the day before the show, I stood in the gallery, my heart racing. The transformation of the empty space into a canvas reflecting our labors felt monumental. As I hung the final piece, a canvas created by Sarah, my breath caught. Each work hung in harmony, accompanying one another through color, texture, and emotion. Just before the opening, I sat quietly for a moment. The echoes of laughter, sharing, and tears lingered in my mind. I reflected on my own transformative journey and how far I had come from those dark days. I had become a bridge for others to traverse their own paths to healing, and I felt gratitude fill my heart. As guests began to trickle in for the opening, overwhelming joy washed over me. The gallery buzzed with energy, laughter, and connection. Families shared stories behind each piece, while artists explained their journeys. It was a sacred space for vulnerability, stories intertwined with creativity and healing. In that moment, I was reminded of why I started this journey. Each photograph, each painting, was a testament not just to artistic talent but to the power of resilience and collective support. My students' triumphs re-energized me. The very act of creating a safe space had become a part of my healing. What was meant to break me has instead forged me, I reflected, feeling that familiar sense of empowerment rising within me. This was not just my story anymore. It was a shared journey filled with hope, strength, and creativity, a testament to a life beautifully rewritten. I felt anchored, bathed in the warmth of new beginnings, and I couldn't wait to see what awaited us all on the horizon. Each day was a new opportunity, and I was ready to embrace it wholeheartedly as I continued to write my story. The art show was a resounding success, each corner of the gallery pulsating with the energy of our community. As the final guest departed, I lingered, relishing the echoes of laughter and admiration that filled the air. The walls, adorned with our collective art, told stories of healing, resilience, and growth, each piece a testament to what had been created from our pain. In the days that followed the exhibit, the success ignited a spark within me to expand my outreach even further. I envisioned new workshops, partnerships, and programs that could connect more individuals to creativity and healing. Sitting at my favorite cafe, I laid out plans on a notepad, excitement bubbling over as I brainstormed ideas: therapeutic art sessions in local hospitals, classes in schools to encourage creative expression, and weekend retreats for those needing a break from their everyday lives. What if I could change lives? I whispered to myself, fueled by the endless possibilities of spreading joy through art. The more I thought about it, the more my heart raced. I was determined to grow this initiative, transforming it into a beacon of hope for those grappling with their own challenges. Just then, Emma approached, her enthusiasm lighting up the room. "I heard about the show. It was incredible," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "Thank you for encouraging me to share my art." "Your work was stunning, Emma," I replied, pride swelling in my chest. "You showed others what it means to express yourself." Our conversation entered a thrilling brainstorming session where we sketched out plans to partner with local businesses and schools, reaching out to the community for greater impact. I felt a surge of excitement at the thought of expanding our reach. It was as if I were inviting others to participate in their own healing journeys. As we spoke, a familiar voice punctured our discussion. "Well, well, if it isn't the dynamic duo of creativity." Mark stepped forward, a hesitant smile on his face. My heart skipped, but I quickly reminded myself I was far beyond seeking his validation. "Hi, Mark," I greeted, my composure gained from the strength I had discovered within. "I've been following the art show's success," he said, leaning thoughtfully against the table. "What you're doing here is truly remarkable." "Thanks," I replied, my voice steady. "It's about to get even better. We're planning more workshops and community outreach." As we chatted, I sensed a shift. I was no longer affected by his presence. I had moved on, allowing the past to unfurl into a tapestry of lessons learned. After a few polite exchanges, he departed, and I shared a knowing glance with Emma, who smiled in understanding. "That was refreshing," she said. "You're really shining in this new chapter." Fueled by our growing community, I announced a new collaborative exhibit titled "The Ties That Bind." This show would feature artwork representing the connections and healing we had experienced together, encapsulating our collective journey toward empowerment. Excitement heated the air as people joined our efforts. Artists reached out, eager to contribute, while volunteers offered their time to bring the event to life. Watching everyone come together reminded me of how isolated I had once felt. But now we formed a vibrant tapestry of support and shared vision. As the event date approached, the atmosphere crackled with energy. Volunteers flooded the center, arranging pieces with care, filled with laughter and camaraderie. The gallery began to transform into an oasis of connection, a celebration of the human spirit. On the evening of the exhibit, it felt as though the entire community had come alive. Guests mingled, weaving between masterpieces and sharing stories that enriched the air. The love and support shared in that space ignited hope and reminded me of the greater purpose behind every creative act. In the midst of the crowd, I stood at the entrance, welcoming each person with a smile, overwhelmed by a sense of belonging. This was more than my story. It was a shared experience, a blending of resilience, creativity, and community. As people engaged with the artwork, I felt gratitude swell within, a profound sense of closeness. What was meant to break me has instead forged me. I murmured into the warm atmosphere, the truth of those words echoing vibrantly. Surrounded by smiling faces and art that spoke of healing, I realized that we were weaving legacies, a testament to how creativity can bridge experiences and give life to a cycle of support. The journey of finding my voice transformed into guiding others toward theirs, shaping a community united by art. As the evening wound down, I took a moment to absorb the scene around me. Each story, each brushstroke, was a thread in the rich tapestry we had woven together. I felt invigorated, excited for the unfolding narrative awaiting us. With fresh goals in mind and a community alongside me, I was ready to embrace the next chapter. Each day offered new opportunities, and here I stood, prepared to write my story alongside others whose lives had converged with mine in the most beautiful way. Together, we would continue this journey of exploration, healing, and creative expression hand in hand, heart in heart,